time to go through some of these things. I know this is a new way of communicating for people and a way to get some new information out to people in a little bit of a different way, but we're gonna work through this, right?
Yes, we are going to work through this and persevere, John.
Absolutely, we can do this. So I guess to start things off about this coronavirus issue and things like that, are you hearing things right now that people are starting to have trouble, or are we still just focused on the physical piece of this for now and the mental health issues will come later?
I think we're seeing a mix. Some parents we're talking to are getting by and seeing this as very temporary and they can make it work. Other parents are starting to feel the pressure now that we're in week 2 of a lot of people working from home and kids being out of school, daycares being closed. You know, the reality is sinking in a little bit, and we don't know what the future is. It's uncertain, and I think people are worried about that. A lot of people are talking about schools not returning, kids not returning to schools, and a lot of people are talking about their work and jobs changing and potentially being eliminated. So we've had some parents who are already feeling the anxiety at a higher level than just a 1-week shutdown. So we're trying to support them the best we can, and we're trying to prepare our team and ourselves to handle it as well, but also be ready for people to really feel more pressure as this continues, whatever direction it takes.
And that's going to be something that we're going to be exploring quite a bit down the road. This is uncharted territory right now for a lot of folks. So that creates a lot of anxiety too, I imagine.
Yeah, I think that, we like to know what the future is going to bring, or at least have a picture of what we can expect. And there's really nothing we can compare this to. We can't say, oh, this is just like this. And a lot of people are going back in history and talking about things. But social connections altogether, even though we have these great virtual platforms, human connection and touch and face-to-face, real face-to-face connection is a biological need. And we've seen some things happening already with depression and people who work completely remotely or live completely remotely, really struggling with some depression. And we know that human connection is huge for our biology, for our well-being. And I think the virtual is wonderful. I know I'm thankful for it, but I also think that as we go on and on with this longer, it's going to become an issue. And I think people too, we can't have control over this. And we, in our world today, like to control stuff. And we just can't have control over what's happening. We don't know how this is going to play out. And it's not an easy seat to sit in for any of us.
That brings up a good point. When people feel like they're out of control, there's got to be some ways, I guess, of trying to, harness that a little bit. Are there things that you're suggesting to people that they can use to kind of ease the situation a little bit more?
So we are suggesting that people, especially parents, because that's who we primarily work with and really focus on, families and kids, obviously, in that context. But we're really talking to parents about viewing this as an opportunity to really have time with your family and really make the best of it instead of viewing it as a challenge. And that is not always easy, even for those of us who preach that and say, do that. But it really is an opportunity that we haven't had in a while, ever in my lifetime with my kids. We're always on the go, right? We've always got things to get to, things to do. We've got some opportunity here, and trying to flip it a little bit and think about it a little differently than just a challenge that's looming over our head that we have to get through every day. And just taking time for you as well. And that looks different for everybody. If you have small kids and you're a single mom, obviously your time for you is different than the time if you have a teenager who can self-sustain. But trying to figure out how do we support ourselves through this and really be the best we can. We have a lot of parents who are working out more than they ever have. I see families, I'm a walker, so I walk a lot. I don't usually see the number of families and people that I'm seeing today, which is awesome. Get out, enjoy nature when you can. And just try to embrace it, because really there's nothing we can do to change it.
We're talking to people, too, and saying, I think you've just got to turn off the TV for a while and let that, let the silence sink in a little bit too. Give yourself that time like you were talking about.
Absolutely. And I would say too, just for parents of kids, keeping CNN or Fox News or whatever news outlet you like to follow on all day, to just get the information when it's available, it really does permeate into little people, and the anxiety and the stress, even of the people delivering the news, can definitely affect them. And
That's
I
right.
think we've got enough anxiety and just kind of monitoring those things. But you're right, unplug. And this doesn't mean you have to play board games. This doesn't mean you have to do anything that you don't want to do. But have a pillow fight, have a tickle battle, play thumb wrestle, do some things, cuddle, do some things that you usually do, but maybe do them on steroids, do them a little more often.
That's kind of fun too. Yeah. You can have lots of fun with stuff on that. But kids can be really resilient too, I think, and we give, kids sometimes a little bit of short shrift that they're going to, internalize a lot of stuff, and they can, but they tend to be very resilient as well, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think we can learn from them. Yeah, they don't have the big picture. They may not have the anxiety and the pressures that we have, but kids are resilient. And I think we can learn how to embrace that and how to potentially promote that with them more, but also model some of that ourselves. I think that one of my friends told me a story yesterday. He's a leader out in the West Coast, and he was telling me about a preschooler, and the mom woke her up and said, "Hey, there's no school today. Do you know why?" And she was worried that the little girl was going to say, "Because everybody's getting sick." But the little girl said, "Yeah, I know why, Mom. There's no toilet paper at school." Right? I
That's
mean,
right.
would we ever have that perspective? And I just love the story. I've told like 15, 20 people the story because it is so wonderful for a child to be living in this moment, even though she's only like 3 or 4, but she is picking up on some other things that aren't the big bad news that's going on around us.
Exactly. That's a great story. I love that.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap things up here a little bit, when people are considering what what's really the difference between a time when we can get through this and when it's really time to ask for a little bit more help, how can they judge that just a little bit here in this type of situation?
Yeah, I think that managing and monitoring yourself, I mean, you know yourself really well. And I think that really paying attention to what your body's telling you, checking in with people, even though it is virtual, even though it may be a phone call, talking to people, not just kind of hunkering down in your own world. This is a time to really reach out when you can. And, if you don't have anybody to reach out to us. We are here. We're here for parents, no judgment. We can just listen. We can talk. We can chat. We do what we call parent coaching. And that is not us telling you what to do. We don't have all the answers for you and your family. You know your family, excuse me, better than we do. And we're here just to support you and just to engage with you and walk with you as you walk through the parenting journey. And but not ignoring the anxiety. It is normal to feel worried. It is normal to feel a little on edge. And instead of avoiding it, try to do something about it and reach out. There are a lot of people in our community. The Mental Health Recovery Board serving Warren and Clinton County is a great resource. Their website has a lot of links, and they are putting out great stuff on social media, just like we are. We're trying to do a daily mindful moment for families, and we're not trying to, we are doing it. And you can link to us on Facebook. You can also reach us just simply by going to our website and clicking on the Contact Us button, and we will be in touch with you immediately. It's just, we have to come together, and just isolation can really be tough. So monitor yourself, reach out. We're here for you. And we live to support parents in need. So please, just reach out and connect. That's
All
my
great
plea.
information.
Sorry.
Absolutely, Jill. That's great. Thank you so much, Jill Wayne from Beech Acres Parenting Center. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll
Thank
try to do
you.
this again more often. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, check back in. We'd love to. We'd love to like do some of these activities with you if you want. I mean, John, you probably can benefit as well, right?
I probably
All of
could.
us can. Yes.
Right.
Take care.
Thanks,
Thank
Jill.
you.